What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the second edition of the penultimate weekend or week of Premier League soccer here for GOALAZO, our GPP offerings and tips at FSI. I'm Alex Hooper. Make sure to like and subscribe below. Also follow me on Twitter at Lex Hooper. I love talking DFS, so come at me with questions. Let me see your lineups. We did well yesterday on the show. We were sweating it a little bit, but Patrick Bamford did score from Rodrigo, the cover boy for Leeds. That game didn't go off the way that we were looking for, but we still got our goal on a slate which didn't have too many goals until City went wild, or the City match went wild, rather. Brighton had a little bit of defender roulette, but not a lot of guys that you were worried about getting to. If you got to them at defense, fantastic. We did say that you didn't really need specific high-priced defenders other than Luke Shaw, and that was the case, but it was with Brighton, and I didn't get there a whole lot. So 2 classic slates today. We're going to talk about the main one. If we have time, we're going to get to the second one, but the main slate today will be Spurs, Villa, Everton, Wolves, and Newcastle, Sheffield. Spurs both the biggest favorite and has the highest total on the slates. Sure, I don't know that I agree with that, but I have a lot of bias because I am a Spurs fan and I watch it. And they don't look like a big favorite to me currently. Everton, a slight favorite over Wolves, decent favorite, I guess, but a small total here. And then maybe my favorite game to get to here, Newcastle against Sheffield. Yes, you heard that right. That is my favorite game, I think, in GPPs to get different. Newcastle, a bigger favorite than Everton is over Wolves, although Sheffield, less of an underdog, but a bigger total here. Let's run through the projected lineups really quick. Everton kind of same as normal, DCL up front. Hamas, we'll see if he goes. But Gylfi, Richarlison, a set split here, same sort of thing up front. Wolves, meanwhile, they're in shambles, truly, but this is kind of what they've been running out there. Nori and Hover. Nori, or no, Semedo has been over here, rather. But Moutinho, so on and so forth. Morgan Gibbs-White, I believe, scored last match. But not a lot of pieces I love here. Not that I love this game at all. Newcastle and Sheffield. I think this whole front five is in play for Newcastle. It's Sheffield, who's not playing for anything, but on the same token, those teams who have nothing to play for can just throw it all against the wall. It happened to my Spurs from Newcastle a couple years back, where Newcastle came in and bludgeoned them for like 4-0 on the last day of the season. But I don't know that Sheffield are capable of that. I think they can score. Newcastle's not great either. Daniel Jevison just scored at 17 years old, the Canadian. And David McGoldrick as well is an option up front. We'll see their prices and see just how much we like them. Spurs, same sort of lineup for them projected. I think there's a good chance that Lucas Moura starts or Gareth Bale, which will get you plenty of savings if you're into that. I think if he plays, Lucas Moura is a decent shout. On the other end, Villa, Spurs have conceded quite a bit. Villa's not great, but I could see them conceding here. So Ollie Watkins is in play. Anwar El Ghazi takes a lot of shots, and he's on penalties, at least when Jack Grealish is not on the field. If Grealish plays, I think he's a really nice GPP play. I think he'll go unowned. He is Jack Grealish, but there's a chance that nobody wants to play him as a big underdog, and he's been hurt. So if you do play him, just understand that he probably will not go 90. He's going to want to be fit for Euros if he even makes the side, which after all his time off, tough to say. Target and El Mohammedi, always good plays at fullback, depending on their price. All right, let's look at the actual slate really quick. We'll start with forwards. Really quick, Harry Kane chasing the Golden Boot. Wants to go elsewhere. He's going to be revving things up now. He wants to win a Golden Boot, and he wants to go and win Euros, and he wants to go to City and get paid a ton, and who could blame him? But I think he's going to be high owned, but I think he probably scores at least one goal today. I have nothing behind that other than it's Harry Kane, but I would get him into plenty of your lineups. Not someone we're going to cover too in depth here because we're trying to get different. Again, I said El Ghazi, that price is awful, but that'll get you different. He kind of needs 2 goals at that. He doesn't need 2 goals at that price, but like you'd like it out of him. I think it's plausible, but when I say you can get to El Ghazi, I think sparingly. I don't love it. I like DCL here. I think that's a decent price, 7-7. Watkins, I think at 7-4 is a decent shot as well. Love Dele Alli. I think he's primed for some goals and assists here soon at 7-1. I will probably play him somewhere, but that is a bias play. Moving down here, Richarlison, whatever, is fine at that price. Fabio Silva, I could see getting to him. Here's my favorite, though. Alan St. Maximin at 6-1 against Sheffield. Yeah, I would hammer that. Not even the best play necessarily on Newcastle, but that's a fantastic play. I mean, he's cheaper, 600 cheaper than Joe Linton. I think Joe Linton at 6-7 is also very much in play. I will get to him. Probably I will get to both of them at points. McGoldrick and Jefferson. Jefferson's only 5-3, so if you need that, go for it. I don't think there's much down here, except Miguel Almiron at 3-9. Holy cow! Like he's a good goal scorer. You need just 1 goal out of him, but like if you get a goal out of that, he pays off the price. And getting to him, I mean, you could even. And then right here, go to St. Maximin. I mean, you're looking good with 5-9 left. You can even get weird at another 4. Like that doesn't hurt you that bad if that's your thing. So I really like the prices here. But those are going to be my 2 forwards to start. Are St. Maximin and Almiron. Midfielder, really quick. We touched on some of these. Again, Grealish at 8-5, given Villa's attack with him in, I think is a fine play. I think once I scroll through here, there's one guy that I'm definitely playing here. But I think when we get back and get down to the end of this, I'm going to come back up and pop Grealish in here. So Traore, fine. I don't love it. Sigurdsson, whatever. I think Lucas Moura at 7-6, given the odds, I think he's worth a shout. I don't know that he'll make it through this. Matt Ritchie, I think you'd want in your cash lineups, and I think he makes a lot of sense to be in your GPP lineups. It's 6,000, but we don't need to cover that here. Jacob Murphy also at 5-6, a fine play. John McGinn always has a chance to score. Again, not a great matchup. If you look at the odds, I don't necessarily believe a whole lot about those odds. Yeah, so not a ton of midfielders that I love for GPPs here. So yeah, I'm going to go Moura. I'm just going to go Jack Grealish. I think he goes under-owned. I could be gravely mistaken. Sometimes name recognition is enough to get people fully on somebody. So Lucatinha, I think, is a fine play here. Aurier contributes a lot to goals. Probably won't play. He didn't play last match with a knock. It might be a I'm going to PSG knock, or wherever he was rumored. Going back to PSG. Target Mohammedi, probably a little too expensive on this slate. Regulon hasn't done anything. Oof. I don't love a lot. I mean, Tanganga at 3-4 is still a decent option. Yuri Mina at 3-2, if he actually starts and get his head on something. I like playing Toby Alderweireld quite a bit because he has assist equity. I mean, like, don't expect it, but he plays a lot of long balls from the back, and he's very accurate. So sometimes he can hit Son on a counter, and if Son takes it all away, like if Son gets an edge and can go, I think he can get there. I'm actually going to pop him in because 3,000 with those odds. Again, high total. I don't think there's a lot of clean sheet equity there, but this is kind of, it's kind of dire. Not really a lot else I love here. I want to find a way to get different. I'm going to say that's Target at 5-2, just to get off of the Dina look. And, like 5-2 is not a great price, but if you're playing a lineup like this, you have a little flexibility. At keeper, Maurice makes sense with the odds. He's a wonderful keeper. I think he could get you a clean sheet. I think Dubravka might be an even better play at 5'6". He's a good shot stopper. My favorite pay up option is Pickford because Wolves are bad. Their XG is bad, but Pickford ain't great either. So understand what you're getting there. Otherwise, I mean, Emi Martinez at 4,000 against the Tottenham side, that's not been great. He has been fantastic all season long. Maybe the best keeper in the league this year. I'm going to slot him in at 4,000. And all of a sudden, you got 11-7. That makes this really easy. But again, like you might not be. I actually don't hate this lineup. I would actually play this lineup, so I probably should get it off the screen. Normally, I say this isn't a lineup you want to play, but I think in a GPP today, that might actually not be the case. We covered El Ghazi. Who's going to be our last guy? Joe Willock at 7.5 is super expensive, but I don't love him enough to just pop him in. I want to be biased and plug Dele in. Joel Linton, we covered. I want to say Jevison here. I want to say, just to go back to the well on Jevison, I don't think, I mean, he's going to have a little bit of a bump, but I don't know that I'm going to go back to him. I'm going to go DCL. DCL is going to be my last recommendation here. I just think Wolves are on the beach, as I heard them described by The Athletic. I think DCL makes a lot of sense. He takes a ton of shots on goal, so I think it absolutely makes sense to get there. I'm kind of up against it, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this second slate. It's Liverpool, who needs to win, heavily favored against Burnley, and West Ham, who also needs to win, not so heavily favored against West Brom. 3.5 total here for Liverpool, 3 for West Ham, West Brom. Battle of the West. This is essentially going to be how much Liverpool can you get to, and do they back you up? Normal lineup from Liverpool. Sorry. Burnley, same sort of lineup. You know I love playing these two guys together. It ain't going to happen today. Maybe in 20 lineups I might get to one version of that. West Brom, who really cares? Dangana is probably going to be cheap, but it's not like you're looking for goal scorers here. You could get them, but again, Antonio and Rama. So let me run through this slate really quick. So yeah, you're getting to a ton of Liverpool. Antonio, you probably want in there. Ben Rama at 7.3 isn't great, but given the slate, whatever, I'm going to pop him in. Firmino, always a good pivot off of the Liverpool guys. He's scored recently, so his ownership might be up, but I think he's always a guy worth going to. Let me run through really quick. Yeah, see, like Wood is overpriced here. If you want a cheap goal scorer from one of the dogs, like Robson Kanu scored last week, and this weekend he's 4-1, but not a lot I love here. I think you just go off the beaten path for some of the favorites. I think that's all you really do here. That's how you get different. Again, not a ton of ways to get different other than like you could just play all these dudes in midfield. Pereira, I think, is a way to get different. I think that's a fine play here, even at 8-2, but you're going to work to get him in there. Westwood at 5.5 is not horrible, but again, like they're going to get blasted. Robinson, Souček at 4.7. He's kind of back in a place where you can afford to play him. I think that might be our guy. As my buddy Tom would say, Thomas Excellence. He's getting in there. So, yeah, not a lot I really love. This is a layup. Like, I don't even think about this. You don't need to get different here, I don't think. You want TAA. You probably want Cresswell if you can fit him. With Salah and Mane, I doubt you can. Same with Robertson. So let's look kind of down here in the basement. Lowton is a guy I like. Again, you don't need him. Ben Mee at 2.9, like in case they score, I think is fine. That's going to be my second play. Like Liverpool's backline still isn't perfect, but they need to win. So they're going to go for some offense. I don't feel great about it, but let's punt Ben Mee here. Nick Pope is always a fine play. He's going to see a lot of shots. It's just a matter how much they stop. You got a goal-scoring keeper here at the top, so you can always go with Allison. I think it makes sense to pay up if you can get to him. I doubt you'll be able to. Otherwise, either one of these two guys are fine. If it's Peacock Farrell, I feel a little worse about it, and I would go to John Stone if I could. But If Pope's there, I'm going Pope. Final guy before we get out of here. Is there anyone I feel good about? I mean, like, these guys are all pretty obvious. I don't love Jared Bowen here. Vidra or Wood. If I want to just suggest, like, 67 is not horrible for Wood. He scores most of Burnley's goals. Like, that's fine. Again, this is not a lineup you want to play. This is a lineup that has guys you want to pair with other people. Yeah, that second slate's it's a little crazy. It's going to be, you probably want a lot of floors as long as you feel you're catching goals. Like, if you think it's 4-0 Liverpool, get a lot of exposure to Liverpool, and then just find floors, Cresswell, TAA, stuff like that. Like, you don't need to go wild. On these 3-game slates that start at the same time, it's probably safer to not seek out goals because other people can't late swap and get goal scorers if they're down. Like, if you miss on Kane and he scores 2 and you need to get crazy, like, it doesn't matter because you can't change your lineups. That's the only strategy thing I would really say. So good luck. And then we'll see on Sunday for the final GOALAZO of the EPL season. Should be crazy. I don't know if the prices are out for that one yet, but I'm excited to look. So if you have any questions, at Lex Hooper on Twitter, leave them below. I may not answer them, but some of the FSI staff may answer them. Otherwise, good luck. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time.